Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God, back with you with the next video in my Daily Diary series. As usual, before I discuss what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Diary video, I want to read you a chapter from the Bible. Today it will be the first book of the Chronicles, chapter 13. And David consulted with the captains of thousands and hundreds, and with every leader. And David said unto all the congregation of Israel, If If it seem good to you, and that it be of the Lord our God, let us send abroad unto our brethren everywhere, that are left in all the land of Israel, and with them also to the priests and Levites, which are in the cities and suburbs, that they may gather themselves unto us. And let us bring again the ark of our God to us, for we inquired not at it in the days of Saul. And all the congregation said that they would do so, for the thing was right in the eyes of all the people. So David gathered all Israel together from Shihor of Egypt, even unto the entering of Hamath, to bring the ark of God from Kirjath-jearim. And David went up, and all Israel, to Baalah, that is, to Kirjath-jearim, which belonged to Judah, to bring up thence the ark of God, the Lord, that dwelleth between the cherubims, whose name is called on. And they carried the ark of God in a new cart out of the house of Abinadab, and Uzzah and Ahio drave the cart. And David and all Israel played before God with all their might, and with singing, and with harps, and with psalteries, and with timbrels, and with cymbals, and with trumpets. And when they came unto the threshing floor of Kidon, Uzzah put forth his hand to hold the ark, for the oxen stumbled. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and he smote him, because he put his hand to the ark, and there he died before God. And David was displeased, because the Lord had made a breach upon Uzzah, wherefore that place is called Perez Uzzah to this day. And David was afraid of God that day, saying, How shall I bring the ark of God home to me? So David brought not the ark home to himself, to the city of David, but carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. And the ark of God remained with the family of Obed-Edom in his house 3 months, and the Lord blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that he had. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. For myself, I want to go ahead now. I don't actually really have any analysis of this chapter. Pretty straightforward. David discusses bringing the ark. However, Uzzah touches the ark. God smites him, so David does not bring the ark to the city of David, but instead leaves it at Obed-Edom, in the house of Obed-Edom. So, yeah, so that's where the story has left off. And with that, actually, I want to go ahead and transition over to what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Diary video. Since yesterday's Daily Diary video, I worked at my chest, I worked at my legs, and I created, uploaded, and scheduled this Daily Diary video from 2/11/2023. And I want to go ahead and mention that actually this is the first time in a long time that I'm not actively making any video game videos, because of the fact that I completed Witcher 3 last week, and it's been an absolute blast, just actually getting some rest from, not like rest, I mean I have plenty of rest because I always take seriously, preparing for work and things like that. I more mean not having like anything that I'm like chasing in terms of a hobby for YouTube. And so that's actually been really fun in terms of when I look at my life and I look back at this time period in 22, 23, like those years. I know that I did a lot of work for my YouTube channel in 22, and that carried over into 23 as well. Just because there's so much I wanted to share, from my daily diary videos to all the different book readings I've done, to all the different video games that I've played, to my workouts, to my my gospel, of course, the Final Testament. And it's been a really amazing experience for me being able to put all of that on YouTube, because that's something that I'll be able to look back on, and my descendants, my people, will be able to look back on, because that will be, the history of what I was doing in that time period. And it surely hasn't been easy, but I not only like never have a mentality like it was like so hard or something. That's not really what I like to say. I like to say that I was, I'm grateful to God for giving me the opportunity, and I felt that I did the best I could with it over that time period. And basically, now I actually don't see myself playing any video games for probably the next half year. I look at it like the next video game that I really want to play is Baldur's Gate 3, a Larian Studios creation game that releases sometime in August of 23. And of course, this is February of 23. And I just look at it like there are different games that I would consider playing, like Hogwarts Legacy, a Harry Potter video game, came out recently. And if you know me, you know I love Harry Potter. I've always loved Harry Potter. I've always loved J.K. Rowling and all her works in the Harry Potter universe. And also, another game that I wanted to consider playing was Elden Ring. Elden Ring was the game of the year for 2022. And so I've actually, if you know me, you know I beat Dark Souls 2 and 3 in its entirety. I've played some Demon Souls, so I have some experience playing Souls games, and I do enjoy Dark Souls and Demon Souls. It's just that for me, the game, if you know, Souls games are just so hard. And it's like I'm not really looking for any extra challenge in the form of video games at this point. And other games that I would be considering playing, Divinity Original Sin 2, my fifth favorite video game ever. I would consider showing that on my channel just for nostalgia and memory's sake. But I'm not going to, just because of the fact that right now keeping my focus on my work, my exercise, my faith, that's my number one goal. Because everything has been going well there, and it's not that I necessarily felt like playing video games was taxing or anything. It was more that going forwards, it's not really something I want to think about for the next half year, as I can instead turn my attention, if I want to, doing something else. For example, like reading other books, like I have done in the past. For example, that's always interesting. Like I was thinking about different books, of course, in history. Like I believe one of the examples was A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, excuse me, and there are a lot of examples of stories like this that instead I could do something like that if I wanted. Or I could just rest instead as well and make sure that I'm as uber rested as possible. I know, for example, I've been cooking more recently instead of eating out, and not only does that save money, but it does take time, and like that's something that I realized, like instead of playing video games, which is fine. Again, I could be cooking or whatever. So that was just an example for me of how I'm looking to do other things with my time other than play video games, at least until Baldur's Gate 3 comes out, because that is one of the games that I had, taken note of, that Naren Studios, one of my favorite game studios, was making another and making another DOS 2 like game. Of course, the plot will be completely different than DOS. It's just that the gameplay mirrors the same engine that is used for, or maybe even be the same engine that was used for Divinity. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's pretty much the next game I want to play. And that's half a year away, and I'm hopeful over this next half year, honestly, to be consistent with what I have set in front of me. Which is first and foremost continue to deliver at work. Continue to be someone that solves problems, is a good teammate, um, has a positive attitude every day. I'm grateful to be there. I'm thankful to be there. So that's number one. Number two is to take care of my health, continue exercising diligently. And number three is to make sure I keep going with my daily diary videos. The last um, chapter of my Final Testament, I talk about, wanting to have my family. And that's really what I'm, working for. Every day I work for the idea that one day, via in vitro fertilization, I can have my sons. And that's the goal that I'm pushing for. So articulate that, and it will take a long time because it's very expensive, and I don't have a home at this point. I'm renting, so I do the best that I can, and that's where my mind is, and just being consistent with that is enough for me. I don't need any other like hobbies in terms of making video game videos or making like book videos. Be consistent in that over the next 6 months, and that will manifest into exactly the harvest of righteousness that I want, or that I envision for my life as well, I should say. And with that, I'm grateful to I've been able to articulate that in this video, and I want to go ahead and end the video there for this week. I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.